fallout.
Be the first to buy now and watch anytime, anywhere on your favorite screens with DirecTV Cinema. Movies start at channel 125.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
He may be the first president in quite some time to face the real prospect of jail time.
President Trump dipping into his playbook of distraction and denial as the Mueller investigation ramps up.
President Trump looking for a new chief of staff to replace John Kelly. Why his top pick passed on the job.
I can't breathe. The final words of Jamal Khashoggi. What else? Transcripts reveal about the murder of the Washington Post journalist.
And there it was, an incredible play by the Miami Dolphins. How they pulled off a win with no time left on the clock. And I'm sure, Dave, you'll be getting into that.
Yeah, that was just the end of it. There's a lot that preceded it you might not believe.
I can't wait to hear more.
It's
Good morning
incredible.
and welcome to Early Start. I'm Allison Cossack.
Good morning, Allison. Good morning to all of you. I'm Dave Briggs. Monday, December 10th. It is 4 a.m. in the East. The White House operating under entirely new circumstances this week now that the Justice Department has clearly implicated President Trump in a crime. Prosecutors in New York say the president directed his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to break campaign finance laws, making illegal hush payments to two women who claimed they had affairs with Mr. Trump. The special counsel's team revealed new contacts between Trump associates in Russia, including a Russian national offering government-level political synergy. Mueller's team also explained they dropped their plea agreement with former campaign chairman Paul Manafort because he lied about contacts with a Russian intelligence official.
In this new environment, Democrats are no longer quite as cautious about using the I word, impeachment.
They would be impeachable offenses. Whether they are important enough to justify an impeachment is a different question, but certainly they'd be impeachable offenses.
The president has now stepped into the same territory that ultimately led to President Nixon resigning the office. President Nixon was an unindicted co-conspirator.
The Washington Post reporting anxiety is spiking among Republicans. They worry the White House has no real plan to deal with the accelerating Mueller probe. CNN's Sarah Westwood has more from the White House.
Well, Dave and Allison, the president spent this weekend going after the Paris Climate Accords, railing against his former FBI director, calling for an end to the Russia investigation, and basically talking about anything other than prosecutors claiming in court filings submitted Friday that the president directed his former attorney, Michael Cohen, to make a pair of illegal payments during the presidential race. Now, Trump has attempted to tout these latest documents as vindication because they didn't contain evidence of Russian collusion, but they did link the president directly to payments that he initially denied knowledge of. That's those payments to two women who tried to come forward during the presidential election with allegations of affairs. Now, all of this comes against the backdrop of a major staff shakeup. The president announced Saturday that John Kelly, his White House chief of staff, would be leaving the administration by the end of the year. And his first choice for that job, Nick Ayers, the current chief of staff to Vice President Mike Pence, will also be leaving the administration after nearly accepting the role as Kelly's replacement. Our colleague Caitlin Collins reports that Ayers and Trump had discussed the prospect of Pence's chief of staff replacing Kelly, but Ayers wanted to do it on a temporary basis, and the president wanted a 2-year commitment from Ayers. Now, CNN is told that the president is considering 4 names to replace Kelly. One of them may be Republican Congressman Mark Meadows. He's a close ally of the president's on Capitol Hill. And CNN is also told that the president aims to make this decision by the end of the year. David, Allison.
All right, Sarah Westwood there. Thanks. According to special counsel Robert Mueller, Paul Manafort lied about 5 major issues after agreeing to cooperate with prosecutors, including his interactions with a man named Konstantin Kilimnik. Mueller says Kilimnik has ties to Russian intelligence unit that hacked the Democrats during the 2016 campaign. Fred Pleitgen live for us from Moscow this morning. Fred, good morning to you, sir. What do we know about Konstantin Kilimnik?
Yeah, not very much. He's someone who really doesn't like to be in the spotlight very much. And those photos that we were just showing, those are some of the few documents that we actually have that actually show this man. But he was very important to Paul Manafort. He worked for Manafort for a very long time in Eastern Europe, specifically, of course, in Ukraine, where they did business with the then pro-Russian government of Ukraine and also with a Russian oligarch named Oleg Deripaska. Now, as you've mentioned, the Mueller investigation says that Klimnik has ties to Russian intelligence and that Manafort was caught out lying about whether or not he had met Klimnik afterwards, namely when he was the chairman of the Trump campaign in 2016. I want to read you a little bit of what the Mueller investigation says. It says, and I quote, "The evidence of the above includes electronic communications, included detailed descriptions. The rest is redacted. It's a heavily redacted document. Draft and travel records. After being told of such evidence, Manafort conceded that he and Klimnik discussed or may have discussed," another redacted part, "at each meeting." So certainly they confronted him with some of the evidence that they have, and it was only after that that Manafort did say, yes, he did have contact with Klimnik. Klimnik also very important for Manafort because the Mueller investigation says he also tried to tamper with witnesses after Manafort got arrested, Dave.
Just another shady character in this whole circle. Fred, thanks.
James Comey calling for President Trump's defeat in 2020. The former FBI director, he was interviewed on stage last night at New York City's famed 92nd Street Y. And in this talk, he practically begged Democrats to set aside their differences and nominate a candidate who is best equipped to beat Trump. Listen.
All of us should use every breath we have to make sure that the lying stops on January 20th, 2021.
Those comments coming after the president tweeted without evidence that Comey lied to the House Judiciary Committee 245 times last week. The former FBI director spent 6 hours behind closed doors on Friday answering questions mostly about Hillary Clinton's emails.
According to transcripts of the session, Comey was asked by Democrat Jerry Nadler whether he is best friends with Robert Mueller, as President Trump claims. And Comey responds, quote, "I am not. I admire the heck out of the man, but I don't know his number. I've never been to his house. I don't know his children's names. I think I had a meal alone with him in a restaurant." Nadler replies, referring to a Trump claim, "I will not ask whether you've ever hugged and kissed him." Comey responds, "A relief to my wife." Yes.
Breaking overnight, Jerome Corsi has filed suit against Robert Mueller in federal court. The conspiracy theorist and Roger Stone associate has already testified before the special counsel's grand jury and is refusing to sign a plea deal. In his lawsuit, he claims Mueller threatened to indict him and put him in federal prison effectively for the rest of his life unless he provided the false testimony he says Mueller is demanding. Corsi alleges Mueller still wanted the testimony even after he was informed it would be false. He also alleges federal authorities unconstitutionally searched his electronic records and his phone. Corsi's lawsuit seeking $350 million in damages.
The New York Times reports President Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner offered Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman advice on how to, quote, weather the storm after the murder of journalist and U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi. White House protocol requires that National Security Council staff be present on all phone calls with foreign leaders. But the Times reports Kushner and bin Salman continued chatting informally following the Washington Post columnist's death. In a statement, a White House spokesman told the Times, quote, Jared has always meticulously followed protocols and guidelines regarding the relationship with MBS and all of the foreign officials with whom he interacts.
I can't breathe. Those are the final words of Jamal Khashoggi. A transcript of the audio recording of the murdered journalist's death, seen by a CNN source, also includes the sound of Khashoggi's body being dismembered by a saw. CNN's Nick Robertson joins us live now from London with his exclusive reporting. You know, as we get these details, they just get more and more disturbing.
The horrific last moments of Jamal Khashoggi are really disturbing. He walks into the consulate in Istanbul, immediately recognizes somebody, asks them what they are doing there. This person, Turkish officials have identified as a close aide to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Maher Abdulaziz Mutreb. Mutreb replies to him, you're going home, you're coming home. Khashoggi says, you can't do that. I've got people waiting outside. And then immediately, without any further discussion, there are sounds of a number of people jumping on Khashoggi, restraining him. And he can be very clearly heard multiple times saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." Then you hear screams, and then you hear him gasping. And then the transcript details noises that it identifies as a saw, as cutting. Somebody identified on the transcript as the forensic doctor from Saudi Ministry of Interior is identified as telling people in the room there, you know, if you don't like what you're hearing, do what I'm doing, put your earplugs in or listen to music. Also, the former diplomat who's in that room, Mutreb, is understood from the transcript to make several calls that Turkish officials have leaked that went to the Saudi royal court. And on those phone calls, he is saying, "It's done. The thing is done. Tell yours." Saudi officials who have reached out to say that they have listened to the tape, looked at the transcript, and don't see any evidence of phone calls. They don't dispute the wording, but they say there's no evidence of phone calls. And a Saudi source close to the Saudi investigation says that both the Saudi men identified, say they didn't make any calls. This is all very significant and horrific details of a terrible, terrible, tragic and awful killing.
Horrific to say the least. Nick Robertson, thanks so much for your reporting. The U.S. is claiming the chief financial officer of Chinese tech giant Huawei covered up violations of sanctions on Iran. At a bail hearing that happened on Friday, prosecutors say Meng Wanzhou is believed to have helped Huawei circumvent U.S. sanctions by telling financial institutions that a Huawei subsidiary was a separate company. Meng was arrested in Vancouver on December 1st and faces extradition to the United States. Meng's lawyer said she did everything she could to be transparent about Huawei's banking partners, and Huawei always worked to ensure its compliance with sanctions laws. In addition, her role as CFO, Meng serves as deputy chairwoman of Huawei's board. Huawei is one of the world's biggest makers of smartphones and networking equipment, but there are concerns Huawei devices pose national security risks. Huawei has been repeatedly singled out by U.S. officials, and intelligence agencies have said American citizens should not use Huawei phones, and government agencies are actually banned from buying its equipment. Meng's arrest has certainly put a big strain on the tense relationship between Washington and Beijing as the two sides are trying to hash out an end to the ongoing trade war. Meng's bail hearing is set to resume today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You know, I've been covering the markets over the past week or so since the arrest. They have been just whipsawing back and forth, worried that this is just one more obstacle in those negotiations.
Robert Lighthizer said, though, yesterday that he does not believe this will impact the talks between the U.S. and China.
Right, but the timing is a little curious.
Yeah, indeed. All right, ahead, French President Emmanuel Macron meeting right now with political leaders, business leaders, and unions after a fourth weekend of violent protests. We go live to Paris next.
You know that expensive watch you always wanted? It only cost a fraction of the price to make.
We thought that was crazy, so we made our own watch company.
We created unique watch designs, launched online at fair prices, developed new styles, shipped to over 160 countries around the world, and created a community. Now, you don't have to overpay for a nice watch.
Instead, join the movement.
Shop now at mvmt.com.
Save up to 65%. Call 1-800-BEACHES.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone. We invited CPAP users to come in and share their stories.
I started to wake up with a cough in the morning, and I wasn't sure why that was. And this began after I started with the CPAP machine. I didn't even think about the fact that there would be germs growing in this dark, warm, wet environment. But as a nurse, looking back, I should have been concerned. It wasn't too much later that I saw an ad for the SoClean CPAP sanitizer. And immediately I knew that was my solution.
SoClean is the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your improperly cleaned CPAP.
Once I started using my SoClean machine, I can tell you that the sinus infections that I used to get from my CPAP are gone. It's like getting brand new equipment every day.
Even just a drop of water left in your CPAP mask or hose can create a breeding ground for germs and bacteria. With its patented design, SoClean is the only CPAP cleaner that safely, effectively, and effortlessly cleans your mask, hose, and reservoir so you can breathe easy.
The mask smelled sanitized, and the air smelled sanitized, so it's a noticeable difference.
I don't worry about getting sick anymore. SoClean gives you great peace of mind that you have clean equipment. Feels great.
SoClean saves you the daily hassle of washing your CPAP by hand. Just place your mask into the machine, close the lid, and walk away.
The biggest issues I had with my CPAP machine were the inconvenience of cleaning the machine, taking it apart, making a mess. It was a chore. I know that the SoClean is going to take care of everything for me.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. SoClean has been a lifesaver.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-298-5201 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
If you get a CPAP machine, don't even take it home until you have your SoClean machine right with it, because they are a marriage made in heaven.
SoClean uses completely hands-free technology to kill 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria in your mask, hose, and reservoir. Stay healthy, sleep easy, and free yourself from the hassle of cleaning your dirty CPAP on your own.
I rest easy knowing what I'm breathing all night long is clean, and I feel confident of that with SoClean.
Try SoClean at no risk to you for 30 days, and shipping is free. Call 1-800-298-5201 to take advantage of this limited time offer, or go to trysoclean.com. Call 1-800-298-5201 now.
At about 9:17 a.m. in London this morning, breaking news: the European Court of Justice ruling the UK can cancel Brexit without the permission of the other 27 EU members. This comes one day before members of Parliament are due to vote on British Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit deal. The proposal is widely expected to be rejected. The BBC reports the ruling makes staying in the EU a real, viable option, and that it might sway some to vote that way. But May and her government are firmly behind Brexit for the time being.
Embattled French President Emmanuel Macron meeting right now with political and business leaders, local officials, and unions. Later today, he's going to be addressing the nation, calling for national unity. Macron's speech following a fourth weekend of sometimes violent protests that drew 136,000 demonstrators on Saturday alone. For the latest on the crisis engulfing French society, let's turn to senior European correspondent Jim Bitterman, who is live for us in Paris. Question I have for you here is, how likely is it that Macron can kind of win over some of these protesters and some of those who are angry, win over them to work with his government?
Well, Allison and Dave, in fact, good morning. And they say at the Elysee Palace, the presidential palace here, that Macron will find the words to win his way back into the hearts of the French. It's kind of an optimistic view, because for 4 weekends now, many of the French have been out on the streets protesting, some protests that have turned violent. They said it was this weekend was one of the worst in terms of violence and destruction, the kind of vandalism that went on. So Macron's got to do something, the protesters say, that's very concrete. He's got to show something that will get these people off the street. Now, already they've made concessions here. They've already said they're going to abolish the fuel tax hike that started this whole thing. That is going to cost alone, is going to cost an estimated $4.5 billion in tax revenues that the government will not be able to get this year. The finance minister saying that the growth in the fourth quarter of for France, it's going to be 0.1% less just because of this protest that has been going on. So it's make or break day today for President Macron. We'll see if he can find the words, as they're saying, find the words to get people off the streets. Allison, Dave?
And we will be listening to his speech. Jim Bitterman, thanks so much.
All right, coming up, we talked about this earlier. Miami fans have a lot to be happy about this morning. The incredible ending to the New England Patriots-Miami Dolphins game you have never seen before.
My name is Jeff Sheldon, and I'm the founder of UgMonk. Before ShipStation, it was crazy. Like, it's great when you see, 100 orders come in, but then you realize I got 100 orders that I actually have to ship out. ShipStation streamlined that whole process. The order data, the weights of the items, everything is seamlessly put into ShipStation. So when we print the shipping label, everything's pretty much done. It's so much easier. So now we're ready, bring on the orders.
ShipStation, the #1 choice of online sellers. Go to shipstation.com/TV and get 2 months free.
Jewelry Exchange lab-grown diamonds, high quality, 100% genuine, and eco-friendly. 1-carat hearts, $3.99. Precision machine set bands, $1.99 to $6.99. 1-carat hoops, $4.49. Hundreds of styles, factory direct. The Jewelry Exchange.
The biggest breakthrough in oral care is finally here. Fusing sonic toothbrush technology and the world's #1 water flosser. Introducing Waterpik Sonic Fusion.
With Waterpik Sonic Fusion, you can now brush and floss at the same time. It's one step to a complete clean. Because if you just brush and you don't floss, you could have problems like plaque buildup, gum disease, tooth decay, and bad breath. In a recent clinical study, Waterpik Sonic Fusion was shown to be twice as effective as regular brushing and flossing for removing plaque and for improving gum health. Here's how Waterpik Sonic Fusion works. The Sonic toothbrush effectively cleans the surfaces of your teeth, while the built-in water flosser pulses water from the center of the toothbrush, cleaning in between teeth and below the gum line. Think just brushing your teeth is enough? Watch this. This corn is like your teeth. A regular toothbrush just gets the surface. An electric toothbrush doesn't do much better. Other Sonic toothbrushes fail as well. But Waterpik Sonic Fusion thoroughly cleans the surfaces, and it cleans in between teeth for a complete clean. It's now fast and easy to get better results.
Order your Waterpik Sonic Fusion now for just 4 easy payments of $49.95. Act now, and we'll include a full 3-year supply of Sonic Fusion brush heads. Try Waterpik Sonic Fusion for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it for a full refund. We'll even pay return shipping. Call or go online now to receive Waterpik Sonic Fusion and a 3-year supply of brush heads plus free shipping. That's a total value of over $325. You can choose white with chrome trim or black with copper. Brush and floss at the same time for a complete clean. Order right now.
To celebrate the Grinch movie, IHOP has all new Grinch pancakes, mint hot chocolate, and kids eat free from 4 to 10 p.m. Right, Mr. Grinch? Get IHOP's new Grinch pancakes and see the Grinch in theaters.
Are you ready for it? Yeah! It's like CNN gone wild. TMI. Too much.
All across America, people are falling in love with the Hurricane.
I love my Hurricane. I wouldn't go a day without it.
I love how secure I feel with my Hurricane.
I love my Hurricane. It lets me go everywhere.
The Hurricane is the #1 selling cane from coast to coast, and it's available with a money-back guarantee. Americans everywhere really love that too.
I love my Hurricane.
They love how it helps them walk on any surface, and they love how it stands on its own. They love how it folds and unfolds in seconds, always ready when they need it.
What can I say? I love my Hurricane.
I love my Hurricane. It lets me go everywhere. I love that my Hurricane folds up easily.
Order your Hurricane at our legendary low price with a worry-free 100% money-back guarantee plus free shipping. Go to hurricane.com and enter the code below. That's hurricane.com. Also available at these fine retailers.
Anderson Cooper 360, tonight at 8 Eastern on CNN.
Oklahoma University quarterback Kyler Murray apologizing just hours after winning the Heisman Trophy for using homophobic language on Twitter in 2011. In the tweets, Murray mockingly using the word queer or queers. Many of the offensive tweets have since been deleted. Murray apologized Sunday saying this: "I apologize for the tweets that have come to light tonight. From when I was 14 and 15, I used a poor choice of word that doesn't reflect who I am or what I believe. I did not intend to single out any individual or group." Though he's obviously a very talented quarterback, Murray's future may be in Major League Baseball. He was drafted 9th overall this year by the Oakland A's and is scheduled to report to spring training in February.
Yes, agent made clear over the weekend he is playing baseball. They're already calling it the Miami Miracle. Not in New England, of course, but the Dolphins shocking New England on the final play of the game Sunday. A 69-yard pass and double lateral that gave the Dolphins an improbable 34-33 win over the Patriots. No, he did not have the angle. Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski on the field for the final play, but he was there for a Hail Mary. This is clearly not what they got. You see Gronkowski there stumbling along as he cannot make the play on Kenyon Drake. Just an incredible ending. We haven't seen anything like that in recent history.
And I am so honored to be from Miami, Miami representing right here.
Yeah, they're enjoying that in South Beach this morning.
Absolutely. Federal prosecutors implicating President Trump in a crime. How Democrats are responding.
What is luxury? A state of mind, free time. It's opulence, it's service, all included all the time. 2 hearts, 5 stars, 1 name. Sandals. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
In the connected world we live in, our personal information is everywhere. What happens if that information gets in the hands of criminals?
Someone benefited from this. We were the ones on the hook for it. We can't pay a $50,000 bill.
Cyber criminals around the world keep finding new ways to steal your personal information, and it could be right from your personal computer or smartphone. That's why LifeLock includes the power of Norton for even more protection for your identity and your devices, where so much of your personal information lives.
Knowing that Norton and LifeLock are on my side makes me feel even more confident about the protection that I have for my identity.
Monitoring your credit isn't enough to see if your identity is being used by thieves. LifeLock helps you see more threats like your information on the dark web. And now, with the power of Norton, we help defend your personal information on your devices from ransomware, spyware, and more. And if you have an identity theft problem, a U.S.-based restoration agent will work to fix it.
There's a whole team of people that are working on my behalf.
Only LifeLock members are covered by LifeLock's powerful $1 million protection package, including reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan, and lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
I was covered through my membership, and I received a check for approximately $1,200.
Join for as low as $9.99 per month and get a free shredder with promo code JOIN TODAY. All memberships include identity threat detection and alerts, with agents working to fix issues, LifeLock's $1 million protection package, and award-winning Norton security protection for up to 5 devices.
I've got 2 industry leaders to help protect my identity and my devices.
LifeLock with Norton. Call 1-800-452-0943 or visit lifelockforme.com. Use promo code JOIN TODAY to get a free shredder with annual membership. Call now.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? At Touch of Modern, watches don't just tell time, they change the way you spend it. Bags are thoughtfully designed to never slow you down, and gear won't get in the way. And coffee tables are also refrigerators, keeping you at the center of the party. All it takes is a touch. touchofmodern.com.
You know that expensive watch you always wanted? It only cost a fraction of the price to make.
We thought that was crazy, so we made our own watch company.
We created unique watch designs, launched online at fair prices, developed new styles, shipped to over 160 countries around the world, and created a community. Now, you don't have to overpay for a nice watch.
Instead, join the movement.
Shop now at mvmt.com.
At the end of the day, there's nothing better than a glass of wine, especially that first sip. The taste is so important, and wine just doesn't taste as good a day after it's been opened. What if you didn't actually have to open the bottle at all? With my Coravin, I never need to pull the cork. I simply insert the needle, tip, and pour. The cork reseals to preserve the rest of the bottle for months or even years. At home, relaxing with a glass of wine or entertaining friends, just insert, tip, and pour. Buy Coravin at these fine retailers.
Let me get this straight. After a long day of hard work, you have to do more work? Every day you're nearly fried to a crisp professionally. Can someone turn on the AC? No? Oh, right. Because there isn't any. Here.
Automatically sort your expenses and save over 40 hours a month.
Without you, we wouldn't have electricity. Our hobby would be going to bed early.
You earned it. We're here to make sure you get it.
It's time to get yours.
QuickBooks, backing you.
He may be the first president in quite some time to face the real prospect of jail time.
President Donald Trump dipping into his playbook of distraction and denial as the Mueller investigation ramps up.
And President Trump looking for a new chief of staff to replace John Kelly. Why his top pick passed on the job.
I can't breathe. Those were the final words of Jamal Khashoggi. What else does transcripts reveal about his murder?
That's the ending. You got to see the middle, though. An incredible play by the Miami Dolphins, how they pulled off a win with no time left on the clock. The Miami Miracle on a Monday. Welcome back to Early Start. I'm Dave Briggs.
Good morning. I'm Allison Cossack. It's 30 minutes past the hour, and the White House operating under entirely new circumstances this week, now that the Justice Department has clearly implicated President Trump in a crime. Prosecutors in New York saying the president directed his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to break campaign finance laws, making illegal hush payments to two women who claimed they had affairs with Mr. Trump. The special counsel's team revealing new contacts between Trump associates and Russia, including a Russian national offering government-level political synergy. Mueller's team also explaining they dropped their plea agreement with former campaign chairman Paul Manafort because he lied about contacts with a Russian intelligence official.
In this new environment, Democrats are no longer quite as cautious about using the I word, impeachment.
They would be impeachable offenses. Whether they are important enough to justify an impeachment is a different question, but certainly they'd be impeachable offenses.
The president has now stepped into the same territory that ultimately led to President Nixon resigning the office. President Nixon was an unindicted co-conspirator.
The Washington Post reporting anxiety is spiking among Republicans. They worry the White House has no real plan to deal with the accelerating Mueller probe. Here's Sarah Westwood from the White House.
Well, Dave and Allison, the president spent this weekend going after the Paris Climate Accords, railing against his former FBI director, calling for an end to the Russia investigation, and basically talking about anything other than prosecutors claiming in court filings submitted Friday that the president directed his former attorney Michael Cohen to make a pair of illegal payments during the presidential race. Now, Trump has attempted to tout these latest documents as vindication because they didn't contain evidence of Russian collusion, but they did link the president directly to payments that he initially denied knowledge of. That's those payments to two women who tried to come forward during the presidential election with allegations of affairs. Now, all of this comes against the backdrop of a major staff shakeup. The president announced Saturday that John Kelly, his White House chief of staff, would be leaving the administration by the end of the year. And his first choice for that job, Nick Ayers, the current chief of staff to Vice President Mike Pence, will also be leaving the administration after nearly accepting the role as Kelly's replacement. Our colleague Caitlin Collins reports that Ayers and Trump had discussed the prospect of Pence's chief of staff replacing Kelly, but Ayers wanted to do it on a temporary basis, and the president wanted a 2-year commitment from Ayers. Now, CNN is told that the president is considering 4 names to replace Kelly. One of them may be Republican Congressman Mark Meadows. He's a close ally of the president's on Capitol Hill. And CNN is also told that the president aims to make this decision by the end of the year. David Allison.
Okay, Sarah, thanks very much. According to special counsel Robert Mueller, Paul Manafort lied about 5 major issues after agreeing to cooperate with prosecutors, including his interactions with a man named Konstantin Kilimnik. Mueller says Kilimnik has ties to the Russian intelligence unit that hacked the Democrats during the 2016 campaign. CNN's Fred Pleitgen live for us from Moscow. So, Fred, what are you learning about Konstantin Kilimnik?
Hi, Allison. Well, he's a very important figure to Paul Manafort. He worked for Manafort for a very long time while Manafort was doing business in Eastern Europe, of course, specifically in Ukraine, which at that point in time had a president who was very pro-Russian. He also worked, and they also worked together, for a Russian oligarch named Oleg Deripaska, who's very close to Vladimir Putin. Now, as you mentioned, the Mueller investigation says Kilimnik has ties to Russian intelligence and that Manafort lied about allegedly not meeting Kilimnik when he was chair of the Trump campaign in 2016. But then the Mueller team confronted him with those lies. And I want to read you a little bit from the latest Mueller document. It says, and I quote, "The evidence," it's a heavily redacted document by this, so some of it's blacked out, you'll see that. "The evidence of the above includes electronic communications, including detailed descriptions, that part's redacted, draft and travel records. After being told of such evidence, Manafort conceded that he and Kilimnik discussed or may have discussed," another redacted part, "at each meeting." So as you can see, he is someone that was met with, and also Kilimnik is also accused by the Mueller team of apparently tampering with witnesses after Manafort got arrested. So certainly someone of big interest to the Mueller investigation. And just really quick, we're actually on a conference call right now with the Kremlin. If we get any more reactions from them on this matter, I'll bring that to you very soon, Allison.
Okay, we will certainly come back to you if you learn anything new there. Fred Pleitgen from Moscow, thanks.
James Comey calling outright for President Trump's defeat in 2020. The former FBI director interviewed on stage last night at New York's famed 92nd Street Y. He practically begged Democrats to set aside their differences and nominate a candidate who's best equipped to beat Trump.
All of us should use every breath we have to make sure that the lying stops on January 20th, 2021.
Those comments coming after the president tweeted without evidence that Comey lied to the House Judiciary Committee 245 times last week. The former FBI director spent 6 hours behind closed doors on Friday answering questions mostly about Hillary Clinton's emails.
According to transcripts of the session, Comey was asked by Democrat Jerry Nadler whether he is best friends with Robert Mueller, as President Trump claims. Comey responds, "I am not. I admire the heck out of the man, but I don't know his phone number. I've never been to his house. I don't know his children's names. I think I had a meal once alone with him in a restaurant." Nadler replies, referring to a Trump claim, "I will not ask whether you've ever hugged and kissed him." Comey responds, "A relief to my wife."
Indeed. Breaking overnight, Jerome Corsi has filed suit against Robert Mueller in federal court. The conspiracy theorist and Roger Stone associate has already testified before the special counsel's grand jury and is refusing to sign a plea deal. In his lawsuit, he claims Mueller threatened to indict him and put him in federal prison, effectively for the rest of his life, unless he provided the false testimony he says Mueller is demanding. Corsi alleges Mueller still wanted the testimony even after he was informed it would be false. He also alleges federal authorities unconstitutionally searched his electronic records and phones. Corsi's lawsuit seeks $350 million in damages.
The New York Times reports President Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor, Jared Kushner, offered Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman advice on how to, quote, weather the storm after the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. White House protocol requires that National Security Council staff be present on all phone calls with foreign leaders. But the Times reports Kushner and bin Salman continued chatting informally following the Washington Post columnist's death. In a statement, a White House spokesman told the Times, quote, Jared has always meticulously followed protocols and guidelines regarding the relationship with MBS and all of the other foreign officials with whom he interacts.
I can't breathe. The final words of Jamal Khashoggi, a transcript of the audio recording of the murdered journalist's death seen by a CNN source, also includes the sound of Khashoggi's body being dismembered by a saw. Nick Robertson joining us live from London this morning with his exclusive reporting. Nick, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. What the source says from his reading of the transcript is that as soon as Khashoggi walks into the consulate, he recognizes somebody that he knows. This person is Maher Abdulaziz Motreb, a former Saudi diplomat, intelligence officer. Khashoggi knows him and asks him what he's doing there. And Motreb says to Khashoggi, "You're coming back." Khashoggi says, "I can't do that. There are people waiting outside for me." And immediately there are sounds of people jumping on him and attacking him. And of course, this is contrary to what the Saudis have said, which was, that his death was accidental. Indeed, what you can hear very clearly on this tape is anything but that, immediately jumped upon. And then Khashoggi can be heard multiple times saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." Then there's the sound of him screaming, the sound of him gasping, and other noises that are identified as saw and cutting. We know that another person identified in that room by Turkish officials is the forensic doctor from the Saudi intelligence office, who tells people there, if they do not like what they're hearing, put their earphones in or listen to music like him. And also the transcript indicates that Motreb talks to somebody on several phone calls, telling them it's done, the job, the thing is done. Saudi authorities who have reached out to say that they have reviewed the transcript, reviewed the audio recording, and see no evidence there that a phone call was made. And a Saudi source close to the Saudi investigation says that both the two men identified, the forensic doctor and Motreb, say that they didn't make a phone call. Lindsey Graham, of course, Republican senator, has, as we know, said that there is a ton of intelligence linking that team in the consulate killing Jamal Khashoggi to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Brutal. All right, Nick Robertson live for us this morning. Thanks.
Worries about the U.S.-China trade war resulting in another round of heavy selling on Friday, capping off a brutal week on Wall Street. The Dow fell 559 points on Friday. The Nasdaq closed down 3%, while the S&P 500 fell about 2%. For the week, the Dow plunged over 1,100 points. And keep in mind, that was a shortened trading week, only four days of trading for George H.W. Bush's funeral. It was the index's worst week since March of this year. Investors were left confused by conflicting messages coming from two White House officials on the trade negotiations with China. Larry Kudlow, the director of the President's National Economic Council, told CNBC on Friday that the trade talks with China are extremely promising. However, White House trade advisor Peter Navarro struck a different tone on CNN. Listen.
China is at a point now, at an inflection point. It either has to change itself structurally and come into the world of free trading nations and be peaceful, or it can continue doing what it's doing. If it's going to continue doing what it's doing, we have a president who's going to stand up to that for once, and the American people should be appreciative of that.
Investors also received a softer jobs report on Friday. The Labor Department said the U.S. added 155,000 jobs in November. That missed expectations. Interestingly enough here, the jobs report, that didn't trigger the sell-off because some traders are figuring that the slowdown in employment and in hiring will reduce pressure on the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates. So the thinking is the Fed will raise fewer or not as much as far as the quantity.
Yeah, I guess the concern is that the Fed was bullied by the president. Maybe not, but it certainly could look that way on the surface, that they are cooperating with what the president would like. But perhaps it's the economy driving that. Ahead, French President Emmanuel Macron meeting right now with political and business leaders after a fourth weekend of violent protests. We go live to Paris. Next.
On a Friday in Vietnam, Brenda Bowen and this 70-year-old man will receive a standing ovation. But first, a few things must happen. To start, an especially gloomy spring will cause Brenda to cut her spending, improve her credit, and find a travel card on Credit Karma, which will earn her a trip across the Pacific to find this noodle joint that doubles as a karaoke bar, where she'll meet retired fisherman Duck Wynn. And thanks to Credit Karma, they'll make a little magic.
Hi, I'm Annette and I'm an actress. And let me tell you something, under eye bags and wrinkles are so frustrating. They're so hard to hide and so hard to get rid of. I came across Plexiderm and I was so excited. We have a model, his name is Richie, and all he's doing is taking a small amount. It's so powerful, that's all it takes. And what I love about Plexiderm is you don't have to worry about the injections, the expensive plastic surgeons, because this is something that you can do in the convenience of your own home. It's a cream, it's a topical, it literally creates an invisible layer that tightens the skin and smooths it out. All you do is gently rub it underneath your eyes, on your fine lines and wrinkles, and it visibly disappears in as little as 10 minutes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. It feels great. Looks even better.
I can't even believe that this worked. I was a little skeptical, I am not going to lie, because I saw people online with it and I'm like, yeah, right, that can't possibly work. I'm telling you, it really works.
I have used just about every eye cream and eye gel on the market, and not one of them has ever done what it says on the label it's going to. This is the only product I have ever used that actually really works. I look a good 20 years younger. Frankly, I don't think I looked this young when I was 40.
I did this to my father at home because I was skeptical. Yes, I admit it. 4 minutes, 34 seconds. The appearance of his under eye bag was completely gone. We were screaming. You have an event, you have any of those moments where you want to feel the best about yourself, I am telling you, the videos that you see on social media and TV are real. Right now, you can get Plexiderm for up to 50% off, plus get free shipping. Order yours at plexiderm.com or call the number on your screen.
The first time I saw Gene Wilder in person, I was hooked.
He made her feel that she deserved to live life. Gene had created a family atmosphere.
It felt like my life went from black and white to Technicolor.
You've got to get in there.
I know what a bath is.
Smile, honey.
This thing is like...
First kid.
Ready.
Here we go.
By their second kid, every parent is an expert and more likely to choose Loves than first-time parents. Live, learn, and get Loves.
Around here, nobody ever does it. Really?
I didn't do it.
So when I heard they added Ultra Oxy to the cleaning power of Tide, it was just what we needed. So now we can undo all the tough stains nobody did.
Dad, I didn't do it.
It's gotta be Tide.
Racing isn't the only thing on my mind. And with GoDaddy, I'm making my ideas real. When I created my business, I needed a way to showcase it. With GoDaddy, you can get a website to sell online, and it will look good. I made my own way. Now it's time to make yours. Get started at GoDaddy.com.
Just like it should.
Closed captioning brought to you by Page Publishing. We help publish, distribute, and sell your book.
Have you written a book and want it published? Thousands of authors have with Page Publishing. If we decide to publish you, your work ends and ours begins.
Call for your free author submission kit.
Breaking news, the European Court of Justice ruling the UK can cancel Brexit without the permission of the other 27 EU members. It comes one day before members of Parliament are due to vote on British Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit deal. The proposal is widely expected to be rejected. The BBC is reporting the ruling makes staying in the EU a real viable option, and that it might sway some to vote that way. But May and her government are firmly behind Brexit.
Embattled French President Emmanuel Macron meeting right now with political and business leaders, local officials, and unions. Later today, he'll address the nation, calling for national unity. Macron's speech follows a fourth weekend of sometimes violent protest that drew 136,000 demonstrators on Saturday alone. For the latest on the crisis engulfing French society, let's welcome in European correspondent Jim Bitterman live in Paris. Jim, good morning. These Yellow Vest protests were about this fuel tax, which was scrapped. Why are they protesting still?
Well, basically, there's a lot more on people's minds. A lot of people have joined in with these protests because they see it as a chance to win their own favorite concessions from the government. Things like property tax. The government saying it's possible they may have to abolish the property tax. Things like a bonus for to help buying power. And some people are saying the government could come up with as much as €1,000 bonus to help people who can't make ends meet at the end of the month. The kind of things that Macron faces this morning, in addition to those business and social leaders that are meeting with him, are the headlines in the newspapers this morning. Here's one from Parisien, the things he has to change. The Parisien is saying, and in Figaro, Macron looking for the words to get out of this crisis. But for most people, it's going to take more than words. It's going to take some kind of very concrete actions. This is now the fourth weekend. The question is, will there be a fifth weekend? No one is saying, but they're going to wait till the president speaks tonight at 8 o'clock local time. Dave?
Should be a fascinating speech. Jim Bitterman live for us in Paris this morning. Thank you, sir. They're calling it the Miami Miracle, but not in New England. That's the ending. Gotta see the middle in the Miami Miracle. The last-ditch play all the sports world is talking about this morning.
Miraculous in Miami. You got me speechless from your touch.
Call 1-800-SANDALS.
To celebrate the Grinch movie, IHOP has all-new Grinch pancakes, mint hot chocolate, and kids eat free from 4 to 10 p.m. Right, Mr. Grinch? Get IHOP's new Grinch pancakes and see the Grinch in theaters.
These folks, they don't have time to go to the post office. They have businesses to grow, customers to care for, lives to get home to. They use Stamps.com. Print discounted postage for any letter, any package, anytime, right from your computer. All the amazing services of the post office, only cheaper. Get our special TV offer, a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com/TV and never go to the post office again.
Are you tired of talking and holding your phone at the same time, or trying to find it while it's charging? Now, get your phone off its back and charge it where you can see it with Cobra Coil, the coolest new way to charge your phone.
Cobra Coil.
Look, just uncoil and shape, and Cobra Coil becomes a custom base or charging station to hold your phone wherever you need it. Keep your phone steady at eye level for hands-free reading, watching videos, or FaceTime while charging or syncing. The secret is the lightweight, tough aluminum cable and secure clips that bends and twists into any shape to firmly keep your device locked in place. Quickly mount and unmount your device using the interchangeable Cobra head that changes from a micro USB to USB to Lightning adapter to USB-C adapter in seconds. It works with every iPhone, iPod, tablet, Android device, and flip phone. The toughest charging cable on the planet. Cobra Coil is super tough. You'll never have to replace a cable again. Great for the car. Keep your phone close at hand for following the GPS and hands-free talking. Cobra Coil twists to any shape to hold your phone in any position. Perfect as a tripod for taking pictures or video. And when you're done, the extra long Cobra Coil rolls up for easy storage or travel. When your hands get tired of holding your phone, Cobra Coil holds it for you at the perfect hands-free angle. Get creative. The possibilities are endless. Phones can get lost in the clutter, but with Cobra Coil, your phone is easier to see and easier to use. Keep your phone alarm within reach, so don't leave your device lying on its back. Sit it up where it's easier to see and easier to use with the flexible Cobra Coil and 3 interchangeable Cobra heads for only $19.99. But hold on, order now and we'll double that offer. That's right, you get 2 Cobra Coils and 6 Cobra heads for only $19.99. The incredible Cobra Coil is not available in stores, so call or click now at buycobracoil.com.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up. I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause My hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin Clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong just cleans better. Enjoy to go with Charmin.
We are rebellious,
Looking good and feeling
trendsetters,
Looking good and feeling
one of a kind.
Looking good and feeling fine.
We are what we wear. American Style, coming in January on CNN.
Good morning, Walter.
Well, aren't you the dapper dandy today?
Yeah, well, it never hurts for a man to look his best.
What's that?
That's my new Hurricane. Cute, but it has a comfortable handle, and it stands by itself. And it flexes, makes getting around so much easier.
The Hurricane is the ultimate in stability and mobility. Get yours with a worry-free 100% money-back guarantee. Go to hurricane.com and enter this code.
Walter, get out of the Stone Age.
Get out of here.
Yeah, suit yourself.
The Hurricane leaves old-fashioned canes in the dust.
See you later, pal.
With its flex design, it's got all the smooth moves you need to get where you want to go. So don't get left behind.
Mind if I join you?
Order your Hurricane at our legendary low price with a worry-free 100% money-back guarantee plus free shipping. Go to hurricane.com and enter this code. Also available at these fine retailers.
It's the story of my life.
Oklahoma University quarterback Kyler Murray apologizing just hours after winning the Heisman Trophy for using homophobic language on Twitter in 2011. In the tweets, Murray mockingly used the word queer or queers. Many of the offensive tweets have since been deleted. Murray said this on Sunday: "I apologize for the tweets that have come to light tonight from when I was 14 and 15. I used a poor choice of word that doesn't reflect who I am or what I believe. I did not intend to single out any individual or group." Though he's obviously a very talented quarterback, Murray's future may actually be in Major League Baseball. He was drafted 9th overall this year by the Oakland A's and is scheduled to report to spring training in February.
Good to have options. All right, they're calling it the Miami Miracle. Not in New England, of course, but the Dolphins shocking New England on the final play of the game Sunday. A 69-yard pass and double lateral play that gave the Dolphins an impossible 34-33 win over the Patriots. Kenyon Drake getting it done. Rob Gronkowski not. You saw him take the bad angle right here, kind of stumbling on the field. He was out there for a possible Hail Mary, but that was not what they got, and the Boston Globe calls it the immaculate dejection this morning. I like that.
That was some play. All right, the latest scandals to rock the White House and President Trump giving Saturday Night Live plenty of material to work with. Look at this.
Federal prosecutors said Friday that Michael Cohen committed 2 election-related crimes at the direction of a person identified as Individual 1. Now, we don't know for sure who Individual 1 is, but let's just say things are getting tense right now over at Individual 1 Tower.
Trump is now calling for an end to the Mueller probe, which I gotta admit, it's worth a shot. I mean, you don't want to go to jail and then find out you could have just called it off the whole time.
President Trump announced today that John Kelly, his chief of staff, is leaving the position at the end of the year because Kelly requires extensive surgery to remove his palm from his face. That's how awful it is to work in the Trump White House, by the way. John Kelly spent 40 years in the Marines. He did 3 tours in Iraq, and he couldn't finish 1 tour with Donald Trump.
Yes, he will be leaving at the end of the year. All right, let's get a check on CNN Business this morning. Global stocks are down amid continuing trade tensions. In Asia, the Nikkei fell 2%. The Shanghai is down almost 1%. The Hang Seng down 1%. In European markets, the DAX in Germany is down below 1% as trading opens there. The FTSE in London is down a bit, and the CAC in Paris is down about 0.5%. On Wall Street, futures are lower after heavy selling on Friday. Those worries about the U.S.-China trade war are capping off a brutal week on Wall Street and beginning a new week. The Dow fell 559 points on Friday. The Nasdaq closed down 3%, while the S&P 500 fell as well. For the week, the Dow plunged over 1,100 points. It was the index's worst week since March of this year. It was the index's worst week since March of this year, and also all of the major indices have erased all of their gains for 2018. OPEC and its allies reaching a deal to slash oil production Friday despite pressure from President Trump to keep pumping. The cuts will remove 1.2 million barrels a day from world markets. U.S. crude prices spiked almost 5% to $54 a barrel after the news. Members of OPEC pledging to reduce their production by 800,000 barrels per day for 6 months. This is going to begin in January. Russia and other producers outside the cartel promising to cut an additional 400,000 barrels per day. The deal should help eliminate excess supply. Right now, the U.S. is pumping at record levels and recently surpassed Russia and Saudi Arabia as the world's biggest oil producer for the first time since 1973. Carlos Ghosn and Nissan were indicted Monday on allegations of financial misconduct. According to Japanese public broadcaster NHK in Tokyo, prosecutors indicted Ghosn and Nissan for underreporting his income. In a press release, Nissan said this, quote, making false disclosures in annual securities reports greatly harms the integrity of Nissan's public disclosures in the securities markets, and the company expresses its deepest regret. Ghosn was arrested.